I am so glad my stepmom can't have kids. My stepmom, a wretched woman of 40, and my father, a naive man of 55, are going to get married next month. For the past 3 years, they've been desperately trying to have a baby, their hope growing with each failed attempt. Eventually, they sought medical advice, and the doctor delivered the best news I could have hoped for. She cannot have kids. Yesterday, we went out to dinner. It had been 2 years since I'd last seen her, and she had the audacity to laugh at me, mocking my pimples, my weight, and even the way I walk. Her cruelty ignited a fire of rage within me, and I couldn't hold back. I shouted at her, unleashing years of pent-up anger about how she had made my childhood a living hell. When I was just 7 years old, she convinced my dad not to feed me for 3 days, claiming I was too fat. She locked the kitchen, leaving me to endure hunger and humiliation. My father, blinded by her deceit, followed her wicked instructions. The memory of those days of starvation haunts me, a testament to her malice. The laughter at dinner only fueled my anger. How could she find joy in my suffering? How could my father sit there in silence, complicit in her cruelty? I felt the weight of years of torment crashing down on me. Another time, she bought me a new bike, knowing full well it was too big for me. She insisted I ride it while she enjoyed her tea. Reluctantly, I obeyed, and within minutes, I fell. My screams for help were met with laughter as she walked me home. When my father arrived, he rushed to get bandages, while she continued to laugh. Her sadistic joy was evident in every chuckle. This memory, too, surfaced at dinner, compounding my fury. The restaurant patron stared as I shouted, my words a torrent of rage and pain. My stepmom dismissed my outburst, calling it an overreaction, while my father remained silent. As the restaurant fell silent, I stood up, my voice trembling with fury. "I'm so glad you cannot have kids," I shouted. "I'm so fucking happy that no kid has to put up with a bitch like you." "Fuck you," the words echoed in the stunned silence, a release of years of suppressed hatred. I stormed out, leaving them to face the judgmental stares of the onlookers. Now, as I walk home, my mind is a whirlwind of emotions. I do not want to say sorry unless she tells me to, and even then, I might not. I hate her so fucking much. The streets blur around me as I replay the night's events in my mind. Her laughter, my father's silence, my own tragedy swirled together in a chaotic mix of memories and emotions. My childhood was a series of torments orchestrated by my stepmom. From starvation to humiliation, she found every opportunity to make me suffer. Each incident left a scar, both physical and emotional. The dinner was merely the culmination of years of abuse, a breaking point I had long anticipated. Thinking back to the starvation incident, I remember the gnawing hunger, the feeling of abandonment. My father, once my protector, became an accomplice to her cruelty. I spent those 3 days in a haze of pain and betrayal, my young mind struggling to understand why my own family would treat me so cruelly. The bike incident was another lesson in her sadism. Her laughter still rings in my ears, a cruel reminder of her delight in my pain. My father's quick action to get bandages was a rare moment of care, but it was overshadowed by her incessant laughter. That day, I learned to distrust her completely. The confrontation at the restaurant was inevitable. Her laughter at my appearance was the final straw. Years of suppressed anger erupted, and I couldn't hold back. My words were harsh, but they were the truth. She had made my life miserable, and I wanted her to know exactly how I felt. My father's silence was perhaps the most painful part of the evening. His refusal to defend me, to acknowledge my pain, cut deep. He sat there, passive and complicit, as I faced the brunt of her cruelty. His silence spoke volumes about his loyalty to her and his disregard for my suffering. Her inability to have children is a blessing. No child should endure the torment I face. Her cruelty knows no bounds, and the thought of her as a mother is terrifying. I shudder at the idea of another child being subjected to her sadistic whims. As I walk home, my mind replays the night's events. Each step is a reminder of the distance I must keep from her, the emotional and physical space I need to heal. I refuse to apologize for speaking my truth. She deserved every word, and I feel a sense of liberation in finally standing up to her. My life with her has been a series of torments. Each incident, each cruel word, has left a mark on my soul. The dinner was a culmination of years of abuse, a breaking point that had been building for a long time. My outburst was not just about the night's events, but a release of years of pent-up anger and pain. I envision a future without her, a life free from her cruelty. The thought brings a sense of peace, a hope that I can finally heal and move on. Her inability to have children means no one else will suffer as I did, and for that, I am grateful. As I continue my walk home, I feel a sense of closure. The dinner was a painful but necessary confrontation, a step towards reclaiming my life. I know the road ahead will be difficult, but I am determined to heal and move forward. My stepmom's cruelty will no longer define me. I am free,